Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show. 3, 2, 1, boom!
Oh, Thrive Nation, we love answering your questions. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former U.S. SBA Entrepreneur of the Year. I am a father of 5 kids, and Z, I hate to exaggerate, but I'm a cat rancher. Z, I'm a cat herder. I herd cats.
Yes, I have been known to be a professional cat herder myself, except my cats are two-legged and tall.
Do you like cats as a pet?
Yes, I like cats.
I like cats a lot. Do you prefer cats over dogs?
I probably prefer dogs over cats.
You
just
do?
Because I've had more dogs than cats.
I don't know that I see you as being the kind of guy that would let out Fido to go to the bathroom and then take him for a walk and bring him back in. I don't know that I could see you allowing an animal to put that much stuff on your to-do list.
Wow.
Do you? I mean, I'm serious. I think that this is just knowing you. I don't think that you would do well if you had a dog that was all your own and the dog wanted to go outside. I think you'd go, listen, buddy, you're not the boss. I mean, am I misreading you? Did you like having dogs?
I know they just say, "Okay, I'll just poop on the carpet." I mean, so that's a lose scenario.
Lose. But I'm saying I don't think that you would.
You may not be the boss, but
you don't strike me as the kind of guy that would seek out a dog. I mean, I could see you getting a dog and having someone else raise the dog.
I don't currently have a dog or a cat. But,
have you ever bought a dog and delegated the wear and care, the kindness, the hugging of the dog to someone else?
All the care, not all of it, but
99%. I mean, I think that's what you do. Is you buy a dog?
Upwards of 90%, maybe.
Okay, all right.
Like my ranch dog. I mean, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I knew there was something to it. I knew there was a deeper,
but
darker
I go
story.
Play with her every now and then.
Get dog snuggles
once a month or two. I don't think that you're the kind of guy. I say that because you're a fastidious time manager.
Yeah, but I mean, you just put that in your deal.
But dogs are nice.
Okay, so here's the question. You're a pragmatic guy, doesn't waste time. And the question that was asked from a Thriver was, how do I find cheap rent, or how can I make it until I can afford a nice place? So I have written down 4 tips that I've given business owners for years, and I'd like for you to kind of one-up me or give me a mega tip or just clarify that narrative there. So Step 1, look for an existing complementary business to sub-rent. So my mother-in-law wants to open up kind of a massage business. She's a licensed esthetician. She wants to do that, like facials and that kind of thing. So if someone like that reached out to me and said, hey, I would like to open up a business, what would I do? I would recommend that she would find like a makeup artist or a chiropractor or some complementary business and say, hey, can I rent from you for little or nothing in exchange for revenue share? And that's exactly what she did before I even told her to do it. She did it. It was very resourceful of her, and that was a job well done. Second, moves, you could ask yourself, do you even need an office? This is a controversial idea. I know of a young man who's a very talented videographer who has an office he pays like $3,000 a month for, and nobody ever sees it. His entire business is done over the phone. It's all over the phone, and his quality's awesome. And I said, here's the deal. That's $36,000 a year. I empower you to not renew your lease and to take that $36,000 and to spend it on YouTube commercials or AdWords or anything, dude. Just stop paying. No, when was the last time someone came to your office? And he says, well, I find it hard to work from home. And I said, again, maybe buy a bigger house. That's $3,000 extra a month on mortgage. I mean, you could have a big that's a big office. So third is month-to-month office solutions. There's offices out there that do that, like Regis, that are month-to-month. And the fourth, it's harder for some people, but it's a shared office space. And Tim Ferriss, the legendary podcaster, the investor in Facebook and Square, the author of the 4-Hour Work Week, he actually offices from a shared space in Austin, Texas, and he's been known to show up there often. And they're like, oh my gosh, is this Tim Ferriss? Is he actually working in a shared office space? And he prides himself on keeping his expenses low. So, Z, for someone out there who's trying to keep their expenses low, what tips would you have for them about affording cheap rent until they can find a nice office?
Well, you covered 4 great things there, too. One thing I can add on or pile on to that is backload your rent. In other words, you might be able to say, hey, here's the perfect place. This is going to give me I need a sexy location, and I found one.
So sexy.
I can't really afford it day one. So then what you do, it's called negotiations with the landlord. You say, hey, listen, give me so many months of free rent. Give me a year of reduced rent that I can afford, and then backload it. I'll sign a 10-year deal. I'll sign a longer deal with you, but I don't want to pay anything up. I want to pay very little up front, for the first year maybe. And so that gives you a chance to keep that money in and put it in your war chest and do your whatever you want to spend it on. So
another move that ties in with that is you can ask the landlord to pay for your build out as part of the rent. You can even ask for up to 6 months, 12 months. I worked with a bakery recently that got 18 months of free rent and all build out paid for in exchange for signing an 8-year lease, and they have great credit with already existing businesses that were doing well. So that's a move. I mean,
that's a move, and so that way you don't have to worry about moving. You have to worry about moving your space,
right?
Because sometimes that's very important. I mean, because and if you find the right space, and you can't afford it, you can try to negotiate that. Everything's up for negotiation.
Can I give you guys a deep, dark secret about the real estate industry? Because I've worked in almost every industry. In this commercial real estate, I have a deep, dark secret that I've never shared with anybody before.
Ooh,
and I feel like if I shared it would help me cathartically. So
I'm scared. I just got to be honest.
I'm tingly.
Well, when we started FearsClark.com, Fears and Clark, years ago, our biggest win, my partner Braxton helped lease Eastland Mall. The Eastland Mall that went vacant.
Oh, yes.
He leased that thing to Coca-Cola. That's a mega deal. That was like a massive deal. We also got a deal to be the exclusive leasing company, exclusive commercial real estate listing company of choice for Canbar Properties. The company started by Sky Vodka, the founder. The founder of Sky Vodka, Maurice Canbar. So we literally had the listing.
That's a great story how you got that, by the way.
We had the listings for 1/3 of downtown Tulsa. 33% of downtown Tulsa. I think it actually was 28 point whatever percent. I mean, it's crazy. If you Google, put a link to it on the show notes, Fears Clark Tulsa World, and you can see the Tulsa World where they show the diagram of what we had. It was crazy. I mean, we had
crazy. Yeah.
So we started getting a lot of calls, and I was new to commercial real estate, and I'm good at marketing. And I figure if I'm marketing to humans, I'm good, So I hired a guy named Richard Bueno who I met at Taco Bueno. And it's Richard Bueno's answering the phone. Fears and Clark, thank you for calling. This is Richard Bueno. And then the calls would come in. And people would go, I'm trying to get an office space for my business. And you could tell if this was this kind of call because they would talk. They would really enunciate the S's. They go, I've got a business, and we're going to need parking in the back. We just need to have the parking in the back because what we do is we're very private. We pride ourselves on not disclosing our customers' names. And so Richard's as naive as can be. He's like, okay, well, we'll set up a meeting. So I'm meeting somebody downtown with Braxton. And I said, so what's your core business? We're into therapeutic, deep tissue massage, and we just want to make sure the windows can be blackened. And I'm thinking, again, I'm naive as can be, too. I have no knowledge. I mean, I'm like 28, 29 years old. I have no knowledge of this game. And I'm going,
what game? I don't understand.
And they're going, I go, so where do you want to? We just want our windows to be blackened out, and we just want to park in the back, and we really don't want any signage. We don't want it to be the name can't be on the place. And I'm thinking, it's like one of those crafty restaurants where you don't have the name on it because it's kind of a
speakeasy.
I get it. It's like a secret. And they go, and it's really important that we list it under a pseudo name. We want to sign the lease under a fictitious name, a DBA. And pretty soon I realized these are illegitimate massage parlors. And turns out in Oklahoma, you don't have to have a license.
You don't? I thought you did.
They might have changed the laws now. You got to look it up. But back in the day, you could just open these things. And so it was like the craziest thing because I'd have like these Rama students answering my phones, and one by one, they would like lose their innocence by answering inbound phone calls for a real estate company. So when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about anything except for that. It's the Thrivetime Show on your radio.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170. Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio. If you're new to the program, how would you describe the Business School Without the BS experience? How would you describe it for someone who's never heard the show before? A lot of people, they flip the stations or a friend referred them. As we're getting higher and higher ratings, we're hearing more and more people that are finding the show for the first time, year and a half in, people are finding it for the first time. Could you describe what we do here?
Well, the BS stands for we don't actually offer a Bachelor of Science degree.
What?
Yes.
What a bunch of crap.
That BS stand for bait and switch.
No. The thing about it is there's a lot of people out there that do podcasts, do radio shows, and they're all very kind of cheerleading style, if you would. You can do it. Walk over hot coals.
Walk over hot coals.
Mind over matter.
Motivation is the key.
Just say yes to the
A lot
dress.
of words that rhyme with the Asian sound, where it's like if you have the inspiration, you'll get the innovation.
And the motivation.
Corroboration.
We're really kind of like practical stuff, like when you come to our in-person workshop, when you get on and view our videos, when you listen to the podcast, when you do all the downloads. We're all about, hey, here's the deal. We've done it. We've been there. We know the moves. Let's sit down and tell you what the moves are,
Here's how to make more money.
Yeah.
Hey, topic 1.
If you really want to know, we'll tell you the practical stuff.
Right.
And then we'll give you the step-by-step. Oh, you're here in the process? Well, then here's your next step. And that's what I think people really like about us and that's why it's life-changing. I mean, I've talked to so many people that have, listened to the show, come to the in-person workshops, and they're just like, oh, my gosh, I didn't know what I didn't know. It's mind-boggling.
You know what's crazy about our last workshop is the first one. Luke, you were at the first workshop, and when you were there was like 60-something people there. This last one, we have like 160-something people there. At your workshop, I'm gonna go through the things we covered at the workshop, and if you could just tell the Thrivers if any of these to you was really impactful. We go over establishing your revenue goals. We talk about knowing your numbers. Was that helpful for you at all?
Well, of course, you can't. You don't know where you're going if you don't set a goal. You've got to have something to shoot for.
Well said.
We went over determining your unique value proposition. Did that do anything for you with the Hub Gym? I mean, did you think about that when you were at the workshop? Did that help you, or were you pretty much already set up for that?
No, I think it was just identifying those foundational things as opposed to being just reactionary all the time. It definitely helped you to set things into motion.
What about branding? How to improve your branding? Had you thought about your branding for a while? I mean, 'cause you've been in business for over a decade. I mean, did you have some light bulbs go off during the workshop?
Right, specifically in regard to our website.
Okay, so Chup right now, I think last week he got 63 leads that came in. Am I correct? 63?
Right.
And the 63 leads, I believe, came at a cost for less than $150, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 143 or something. Does that sound right?
But it's not. If you're listening to the show and you don't get it, you can't just buy Facebook ads, Z, and not have a great reputation. I mean, you can't.
Correct.
So if he hadn't been diligent about gathering reviews from real customers, the ads wouldn't have worked. It's a transparent culture. I mean, so it wouldn't have worked. And so this is the hard part. This is why I want to brag on Luke, and I want to get Chup's take on this. A Thriver emailed a question. This is their question. They said, "How do I get over struggling with consistency?" The question was, why do you think most people struggle with consistency? So I'm going to let Chup lead the way here because I see this. Now, I can brag on Luke. For about 50 weeks in a row, he's been to his meetings faithfully. He's gathered reviews from real clients faithfully. He's improved the branding faithfully. And now he's just got one linchpin, Z, which is getting his team to execute the system on it. So he's consistent now. Now it's about getting the culture of consistency.
Correct.
So, Chup, what's the challenge that most entrepreneurs have as it relates to consistency? Do you see as a business coach?
Having what we call meta time built into your schedule. So time outside of the fire of the day-to-day business where you're working on your business and you're not in it. And then just really scheduling in general. Every business owner that we work with, it seems like they come in and they just have no time. They have no time to come up with new ideas or strategy or go over their numbers because they haven't planned it into their day. They don't know how to delegate. They don't know how to follow up. And so those are big things that we dive into with a lot of clients.
It's just very, very, very hard to have any level of success at all if you can't be consistent. Now, Luke, what's the challenge with getting a team to be consistent? I mean, such intense concepts as clean the bathrooms or, hey, guys, I'd like for you guys to turn the overhead music on. Show up on time. I mean, how big of a struggle is it? I mean, is the struggle real? Am I overhyping it? Is the struggle real to get people to do those things?
It's huge. Absolutely. I think that's probably, like you said, the linchpin right now is to convince them it's worth it.
Z, how would you deal with it if you took over a business and people are struggling with being on time, cleaning the bathrooms?
There's two moves.
Okay.
There's two moves. One, you put your white hat on and you praise and you shower them with accolades
and cannoli
and accoutrements.
I gave my team, the Broken Arrow team, this week cannoli.
Yeah.
for hitting their goals. That's the white hat.
Put the signs out.
Yeah, put the signs.
That's the white hat.
Put the
So you've got
cannoli.
to have
the
that. You've got to have that in your repertoire.
repertoire.
You and the words. Woo, who's it?
And I know that Luke has that move. I mean, I could just see that he's just a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. So you can see that that's an easy move for him to do. Quite frankly,
You don't have to learn how to be a nice guy. So good news. You're halfway there.
you're halfway there.
Now,
The other one is understanding the dark arts of the black hat. The Darth Vader move. And understanding that that's necessary. You know, like we've said in other shows, we've said earlier today, you know, a public execution, i.e. firing someone for not doing their job, is difficult to do, especially when you've put up with it for so long. And that's one of the problems I see that a lot of entrepreneurs have is that they hire guys that are good guys and they have some good moments, but then all of a sudden they kind of drift.
well, let's play that out. Let's play that out because I am guilty of this. I played that out for about 3-4 years there with DJ Connection before I figured it out. I played that out. So what I did, I remember this. I will not mention the last names, but I will mention the first names because it helps me tell the story better. There's a young guy by the name of Aaron. I remember Aaron. I used to say, Aaron, you need to be at work on time. And Aaron says, what's more important, being at work on time or caring for my family? I said,
Oh, tough.
Aaron, well, I guess
You got me there, Aaron. Good one.
taking care of the family is important.
Yeah.
Then there's a young guy.
I'm a family man, Aaron.
Young
I
guy
get it.
Curtis.
I get
Curtis says, hey, I overslept, but my sales were huge. I mean, do you value having people who are on time or people that sell huge? Because the guy who's on time every day, his sales are the lowest, right? Then he says, then I said, well, it's what you do after work that's causing a problem for your getting to work. And he says, so now my private life is part of the workday. Okay, I get it. That makes sense to me. So now I got that people that were talking back to me, right?
Combative.
Right. Then I got another guy on my team. I'll never forget this guy. This guy, he literally every single day, I'm not exaggerating, my wife every single day would have to call him at noon. We had to schedule him to be at work at noon because we knew he wouldn't wake up till 12:30 if he was scheduled for noon. He would show up at 1 and then put on a laser show from like 1 to 7. But every day at 11:30, my wife like hits the panic button and she would have to go to his house and, hey, wake up. He's like, oh my God, I forgot. There would be, and I'm not kidding, there would be a nude or semi-nude Asian girl that would answer the door virtually every day. I am not exaggerating.
By the name of Cookie?
Well, they would answer the door and they'd be like, I'm sorry. They have like a towel on. I'm sorry. He's sleeping right now. Who are you? And it's like a different person like every day. And he'd come to work with big circles under his eyes every day. Like, guys, what's going on? We're like, dude, you got to sober up, man. We need you to make calls. He says, this is what he does. He says, Clay, I want to be here, but if you could drive me to work every day, then I would know I'd be on time. So we actually started picking him up to work. We actually started letting Aaron
Cookie off.
And then Aaron said that if he could set his own schedule, then he would be more effective, and he didn't appreciate being micromanaged. So Aaron was allowed to take a 2-hour lunch. And because he was a youth pastor on the side, it was kind of shocking. We found out that he was taking his time to go to night trips for 2 hours a day. But that's what he was doing. And so I had this group of crazy people that controlled my life.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm trying to serve everybody.
You put up with that for how long?
For about 3 years.
Oh, my gosh.
Every single Sunday they would call in and say,
oh, I just want to throat punch you right now.
They'd say, hey, I can't cover my show today.
It's painful.
But I wanted to see if you could do the show. So every weekend's an emergency. Every day is a drama. And my number one goal was to be their friends. And then I read
how'd that work out for you, by the way?
Well, it didn't work well, and I read Machiavelli's book, The Prince. And in the book, he says it is better to be feared and respected than loved and liked. And somehow that clicked. What you had said, what Clifton Talbert had said, what these people had said, it somehow clicked, and I'm like, somehow I put the bullet in my firing gun, and I'm like, and all of a sudden, I'm like, that's it, homies.
That's it. I like what Steve Carell said on The Office when they asked him, would you rather be feared or loved? And he said, I want my employees to fear how much they love me.
So why do you think most people struggle with consistency? I believe this because it is a cosmic, universal habit force called poverty. And people think that you are eccentric if you do the same thing every day and it produces results. So the normal people are not used to consistency. Consistency, the idea of consistency is not a centric idea. So the average person, the centric American, is inconsistent about everything. So if you want to be successful, you have to do the opposite of what the average person does, because the average person, according to the Federal Reserve, has less than $400 saved. So if you want to get average results, do what average people do. And when we come back, we're going to answer the question, what do the first 60 minutes of your day look like, Dr. Z? Stay tuned.